decided that we design the solution that suits us. And that solution is that everything we do, since they make our country and our land very uncomfortable for us, we will bring our freedom from diaspora. And that's what we're doing today. So the enabling environment that was not created for us in Biafra land, the different countries where we reside have created an environment, and we are struggling to bring this kind of system back to our people for them to live like human beings. So we will always outsmart the terrorist state of Nigeria.
Only one, under his leadership, His Excellency Simon Ekpa. Anybody that is confusing anyone or telling you there is another, no, there is nothing. There's just one, recognized by His Excellency Simon Ekpa. And we can pray. Once he has that communication, Biafrans, we understand that Obato Obie does not take no crap from nobody. No matter who you are, you must respect that authority. That authority is the only thing that can protect all of us. But we thank God, somebody said this is a transition period. If these things does not happen, Biafrans will not know who is following our prime minister, who wants him to fail, who wants him to be out. So this moment is ordained to happen so that Biafrans will know who is who in this restoration process.
Welcome, fellow Biafrans, lovers of freedom across the world. I welcome you to this amazing program. Thank you so much for joining us once again on this platform. I appreciate you wherever you are connecting from. Please like and share this program. And remember, this platform where you are watching this program is Biafra Exodus Hard Talk TV, a platform that stands with the United States of Biafra, under the command of our Prime Minister, Mazi Simon Ekpa, and on the Supreme Command of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Today, under the control of Deputy Prime Minister, COS, Dr. Ngozi Orabueze. We bring information from the right source, the United States of Biafra, the government of our Prime Minister, Mazi Simon Ekpa. Wherever you are watching this program from, I urge you in the name of Chukwu Okike Abiama to like and share. Information is power. Remember, our Prime Minister encouraged us to engage in radical evangelism. Our Supreme Mazi Nnamdi Kanu told us to carry everybody along. In doing that, you must help us to share this video. Like and share to family and friends and to every platform where you belong. This information is important.
Oh, well, a renowned media mogul, owner of a top Lagos radio and television station, faced a life or death ordeal when soldiers on patrol along the Idemili-Nobi road allegedly mistook him and his DSS escorts for kidnappers. Now, their vehicle was forced off the road, and soldiers reportedly ordered them to lie face down, guns cocked, ignoring repeated identification by the DSS officers. But the situation escalated until the patrol leader intervened, saving them from what could have been a fatal error. Well, the media mogul described the harrowing experience as a glimpse into the grim fate of many innocent lives in the southeast. Now, he's quoted as saying that we escaped death by the whiskers, recounting the chilling moment soldiers dismissed their pleas and prepared to shoot. Guns were cocked, actually. Well, meanwhile, we'll touch on that one. And then, meanwhile, a foremost civil rights group, International Society for Civil Rights and Rule of Law, Inter-Society, has alleged that security forces and local vigilante groups have killed over 32,300 unarmed civilians across the southeast within the past 9 years. Well, however, hundreds of southeast residents returning home for Christmas and the New Year celebrations were stranded for hours at military checkpoints, especially on Enugu-Okwe Road, while soldiers allegedly blocked the only access road. Doing what, if you may ask? Extorting travelers' money and causing chaos. Well, some have said that as much as 5,000 naira was taken from each bus, and I got this from more than one person. that just returned, that when they were traveling, they had to alight and they were made to pay more, 5,000 naira each traveler, each vehicle. Oh, well, that's, well, this is what we'll be talking about this morning. And we have joining us in the studio, Barrister Darlington Agumwa. Barrister, good morning to you. Welcome to the conversation.
Yeah, Moses, good morning, and good morning, Mr. Okoro, and good morning, Barrister. Yeah.
Well, we also have right beside him there, Mr. Akin Fatumke, who is a communication consultant and a public affairs commentator. Good morning to you.
Good morning, Moses. Good morning, Chikuma. Good morning, Barrister, and Happy New Year to viewers and those who are listening to us.
All right. And we also will be joined from our Benin station. We have Dr. Bright E. Onyovo-Kuko, who is an activist and also a public affairs commentator. Well, he's not in yet, and when he does join the conversation, we'll let you know. Oh, well, gentlemen, it's a new year. It's a new year. But the problems that we're talking about seems to be old enough, not even new, because they have persisted over the years. Now, the figure reeled out by this agency, well, I don't know if you, Mr. King, I don't know if you want to accept that figure, but I would want to take it with a pinch of salt because it's a lot. 32,300 civilians might have been killed by Nigerian soldiers in the southeast. How does that make you feel, even if it's not exactly that amount, the thought of it alone?
Makes my blood cold. Shivers run down my spine. However, Moses, to contextualize, what I thought I had was the NGO giving that number, alleged, they used the word alleged, and that they attributed the bloodbath to soldiers and local vigilantes. So, so which ones are soldiers, which ones are local vigilantes, one. Secondly, which ones are pretenders, which ones have gone, like we have in other areas, but essentially in the southeast. People who have just gone to don security uniform and perpetrating a lot of mayhem. I also know, and it may not be an exaggeration, Moses, because the NGO said, unless if I didn't hear it properly, he said in
last 9 years.
9 years, a lot of blood has gone down in the south, elsewhere, but particularly in the southeast. No doubt about that. We also know, and I hope the numbers that they are parading will be non-state actors who have had to go sack other residents who have decided to come out when they said, no, you should not come out, and what have you. But all put together, it is horrendous, it's unacceptable. It therefore, in my honest opinion, calls for a rethink and a refocus on the security architecture that we have everywhere, but particularly in the southeast. In the southeast.
All right, Barrister Darlington.
Yes.
Your take on this, when you first heard this news, and you know we've talked about the militarization of the southeast. Well, this involving both soldiers and vigilante. You are from that part of the country. How does it make you feel?
Bad. Most is bad. The method that you have to travel with DSS escort, is it everybody that can afford it? Even with that escort, look at what happened. You can imagine. That tells you what has been going on in the southeast. That innocent lives have been wasted, and they call them IPOP. They call them IPOP for no justifiable reason. Do you know that under the law, if you cock a gun and an innocent person, it's a crime on its own?
But how do you
Not
identify?
to talk of telling an innocent man to lie down on the ground. With DS, that means if that mistake had been made, Moses, they will never own up. They will tell you it was IPOB that did it. That is what you would have had. They will tell you it was IPOB, especially when DSS is involved. Then their hirelings and supporters will go to town. How can military kill DSS even when they show their ID card? It's not possible. It cannot be military. It cannot be Nigerian soldiers. They must find a way to excuse it. That's what would have happened. You will now juxtapose it with me. What are you talking about? When I say yes, because when you kill 1,000, you have dislocated another 10,000. Because it has ripple effect. When you kill a breadwinner of a family, you have killed that family. True or false? You have killed that family. So it's not about the number. It is the sheer audacity. You don't do that even in a military combat, in a war situation. When a man has surrendered and raised his arm, you dare not touch him. It's against the Geneva Convention. You still ask him to lie down. Dehumanization. There are so many crimes that was committed by these single events. I'm not joking. I wish the man involved should take this thing up.
Okay.
Right to the chief of army staff.
All right.
This is a crime against as human right now.
Barrister Arlington, in the face of what happened, to this man yesterday, the report I read says that, look, that they were accosted, by soldiers. They were actually double-crossed by soldiers. And when they tried to identify themselves, the soldiers say that the DSS tried to identify themselves. They said, soldiers said that their ID cards were forged and all of that. Meanwhile, the DSS were also armed. They were armed men. What do you think will be the response of the military?
My dear, except because they will tell you they are not aware. That's what I'm saying. That should make sure that this particular incident get to the chief of army staff so that he will know the type of human being he sent to the southeast. Because anybody that IPOB member, you remember what they said during the Militarization, that the DSS have helped to curb insecurity in the southeast, that they were able to neutralize, kill and all that. And nobody was able to go and take inventory. If they actually killed IPOB members, or they were killing innocent civilians that came home for Christmas.
Now, another question would be, is there no way that the soldiers could have identified the DSS without having to reach their
My
office?
brother, don't look at that.
No form of,
I am telling you, they identified themselves and where they are coming from. What will it take you to make a call? They came from a particular station. They are from a particular formation. Make a call.
All right. Then.
Why do you have phone?
Okay.
Even the ID card must have a serial number.
Does it have a barcode?
I said they have. This is the security agents now. They must have all those things. All you needed to check it out.
All
When
right.
you are not convinced, then you cannot take them to the station. You don't even need to take laws into your hand.
All right.
You understand? They have already identified themselves. They obeyed you.
All right.
Terrorists who don't do that.
Okay.
I mean, kidnappers.
Well,
They don't. Who do they even kidnap in the first place?
Okay. Let's just assume that there was a misconception somewhere. But let me bring you back into the conversation now. It's not the first time this is happening. This has happened many times. Some of them reported, some not reported. But let me take you back to the Wadume incident, where policemen doing their job arrested him. He is allegedly a kidnapper, and they were taking him to, well, you know the story, so I'm not going to bore you with all of that story. And they also presented their ID cards, but they were shot at. Why is there no fluidity in terms of communication? Why do we have that non-fluidity in communication between our security agencies?
I'm so happy you brought the Wadube thing. And so the conception that is only in the Southeast that this happens is not entirely true.
No, we have never said it's only in the Southeast, but we are looking at this based on an individual.
I'm referring to my fellow.
No, I just wanted to set that straight.
And it's not alone, really. And the point I am making, therefore, is even if it's one person, It's happened in Lagos. It's happened in other areas. But we are looking at the mass concentration, and I have said, look, that should not happen. And at the same time, I am careful in my communication. It does not matter what anybody thinks. I am very, very, very careful to say, he asked that question, he's interested in what the military will have to say on this matter. And I think it's a fair point that the military will need to really investigate and investigate thoroughly. You may not trust the outcome of their investigation. You may say it will not reach the light of day, but it is very, very important at this stage as we are moving towards a January 15 Armed Forces Remembrance Day. At this time when our military are making inroads in other parts, that we are careful in the kind of communication that we put across. One bad egg spoils the rest. No doubt about that. Now, back to the Wenumi. The Wenumi incident was traceable. We knew, and the military high command knew where they took off. They were doing their radioing, and again, clash between the police and the military. It's gone back to the Ogugwaja days. If you remember the Ogugwaja and pepper soup. So, but I agree with you, Moses. It's becoming one time too many. And I am interested in this investigation to be thorough. How it is done elsewhere, I don't have to be a military trained to understand that things like this, you do mystery shopping. What is mystery shopping? You go on Mufti and you'll be able to catch a police officer caught people in Mufti. Go and see exactly what is happening. Then, again, the journalists, unnamed, okay? But I agree with my barrister. Please, yes, you remain unnamed, but high time. Don't allow this to be swept under the carpet. Yes, you've saved your life, but do you know how many other lives will be rescued, should be rescued in future if we give the correct information. Now, DSS, I also know in the Wadume case, it was also alleged that DSS ID cards that he said quite rightly should have a barcode. Sometimes when they go to sack some of these people, they go away with their rifles, they go away with some of these things. So I am saying investigation at the end of the day will really establish. We just gone through one. Is it in Abuja? Or is it in River State? Where they said police were doing certain things and the police high command have said, no, it is fake. In this day and age, yes, while I agree we should be very, very careful, but very quickly, the military high command must swing into action. Okay, now let me investigate this and let the public know the outcome of that investigation.
Sorry, please. Let me button at this point. We know that it's against the laws of Nigeria for an individual who is not a military official to put on the military gear, the uniform, to put on anything that looks like it.
Yes.
How is it so that imposters have constantly held sway? Imposters have held sway in parts of the country, wearing the military gear, and we have the military giving excuses. How is it so? Like I asked, the question I asked earlier, which I don't think was actually addressed, is the lack of synergy and communication between our military outfits, police, army, and the rest of them.
It's not just lack of communication, it's been there all.
Why do we have that? Why so?
That is part of the bane of the society that we know we have. Please, there's no need for us to continue to pretend. I'm not trying to justify it, but it is the utmost truth. When this president came on board, if you remember, maybe about the second or third day after his inauguration,
there was,
part of the things that he said was that, look, I want to make sure that I don't want to have silos. And one of the things that he intervened in the DSS in Lagos here at Ikoyi. It should not happen. It is absolutely unacceptable. Somebody has to kick the can if investigation has been done and whoever has been found wanting. I also say to you, fella said uniform na cloth, na tell the swam. That's uniform. That patrol that has been identified, investigation will identify if they were genuine uniforms. You can have fatigue that somebody has got to fake. We are not in normal times, we know that. But having said all that, we know we have this shortfall and all that, we should investigate. I think it's also high time. It's high time that we look at the Southeast again in terms of over-militarization that we talked about. I don't know the security reports some people got and all that, but it's still not. But I agree with him on one thing. Even if these people were kidnappers, if they were kidnappers, or they are kidnappers, yes, you could do your saboratu. Yes, reinforcement, if it's not coming very fast, you may find yourself being subsumed, but you don't cock your gun.
Okay.
You don't, it's rule of engagement. You don't cock your gun just anyhow. Let's, in my opinion, wait for proper investigation to be taken, and with a long-term position that I'm beginning to hear from Enugu, that stay at home is no longer going to be acceptable, whether that we are going to be able to enforce that or not. But innocent lives also needs to be protected.
Okay, all right. Thanks very much, Mr. Kim. You seem to be tiptoeing around the issue of lack of signage between service organizations, security organizations. But Barrister Darlington, let me bring you into the conversation.
Okay.
Now, the issue is that with what happened to this man yesterday or day before yesterday in Anambra State, and the extortion that is going on in the Southeast, even this kidnaps, happen in earshots of military checkpoints and all of that. How do you paint the role of the military in fighting insecurity in Nigeria as a whole, with particular reference to the Southeast? The role of the military.
What is going on in the Southeast is a deliberate act by the federal government to dehumanize the Southeasterners. If not, ask yourself, why would this extortion continue unabated? Is that not this type of thing that degenerated to this level, that every other person in the Southeast now is a kidnapper, is a terrorist, is an IPOB member? That is the impression being created. If not, why would you see a man with the DSS escort, with all the identity and everything? You still reduce him, you dehumanize him, you took away his human rights all of a sudden. Do you know what would have happened if this extortion along the road had been taken out? Do you know what would happen if the federal government had issued an order for the military to get away from the South? Because we have asked them, leave the Southeast. They refuse. They refuse. Yes, I said, don't, you have policed us enough. Under your watch, things are getting worse. Leave us alone. Leave us alone. Let us see. Let us see how IPOB will not be killing the whole Easterners. Let us now know who is behind it. But they refuse. So this problem was created by the federal government because they refused to do the needful. A lot of people. The Wadume you mentioned, hold on. The Wadume mentioned, that one is a separate, entirely. I mean, it's a different kettle of fish, because in Wadume's case, you and I know what happened. Wadume was acting with both the military and the police. He's a kingpin. Today, they have released him. Ms. Okoro, Wadume is even holding court. The day he came back to his village, it was a fun fair. So how will you compare it with what happened with this gentleman? And this is one out of many. Ms. Okoro, some people who traveled may not come back, and you may not hear the story, you may not hear the news, because it happened in one remote village or whatever. Are you telling me that this was the only incident that happened in Southeast? The answer is no. So why is it that the federal government under Tinubu have refused to listen to good advice?
Because a lot of people are concerned that in the midst of all these military checkpoints, you know, insecurity persists.
Yes,
So
exactly.
The soldiers are there, policemen are there, and
that
are being killed in cold blood.
That will tell you
the essence of having this military
Thank
checkpoint.
you. That is why I said let them leave. Ms. Okoro, let them leave. Because we have discovered that they are the part of the problem. Let them leave. Make me see how the Southeast has become a terrorist region all of a sudden. Let them leave.
Why do you think the governors are not very pushful in asking the military or in asking the president to take out these? They
have said so. They have said so. It's just that nobody.
The president is not listening.
No, yeah, they are not listening. Just like every other advice we are giving. Ms. Okoro, just like every other advice we are from Nnamdi Kanu to the marginalization of the South.
I like the fact that you brought in Nnamdi Kanu.
Have we not given advice?
When certain governors, you know, are accused of asking the president to keep Nnamdi Kanu, the president listens to them. But when the governors ask him to take out the military checkpoint, the president doesn't listen to them.